So you want to get away from it all. You want to be independent from the state and government, or at least as independent as you can get. There are many prepper channels that will tell you that you need to pack up and go live deep in the country, but it's not as simple as all that. Most people cannot simply pick up and leave and start a whole new lifestyle from scratch, just like that. To suggest that people should close up shop and go live in the woods without laying down realistic expectations of what that would involve is irresponsible. Today, we will look at what would be involved in order to actually plan for such a life-changing endeavor. So today we're going to take a look at 10 things you may want to consider if you're thinking about this lifestyle. Now let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, very simply, know what you're getting yourself into. You are not just going to move away as so many other channels would have you think. It's not that easy. Going totally off-grid is a massive lifestyle change. You will truly be independent, likely without any assistance from anyone. No support system and no one to rely on but yourself and your family if you have one. There will be less opportunity for anyone to interfere with your life, but there may also be no one to help you either. Number 2, evaluate off-grid communities. If you move away to an off-grid community, you are still going to be compliant to a system of government. You are going to have to cooperate with the rules of whatever system is in place according to whomever is in charge of where you are moving to. You had better fully understand every possible rule and personally gauge the personalities of the leadership in that community before you invest in it, or you could find yourself stuck in a very sticky situation. Number 3, finding a location. You will have to research for yourself exactly where it is that you want to live. There are a lot of videos telling you where you should be and telling you where the best spots and off-grid communities are located, but you really need to do your own research. One person's recommendations for the ideal location may not fit with your personal ideas. Are you comfortable being in a mountainous area? Can you handle extreme weather changes? What kind of water resources are you looking for? Is this location prone to natural disasters of any kind? There are many things to consider when picking a location, and only you know what's best for you. Number 4, financial security. As I mentioned in the preface, the average person cannot simply pick up and go. You are going to need enough money put aside for the acquisition of your new land, property, and savings for the transition from the old life to the new. If you think it's hard to move from one apartment to the next or from one house to the next, try moving from your familiar surroundings to the middle of nowhere. It's not free, and you need to be prepared for that. Number 5, take this job and shove it. Whatever your profession is, that part of your life is likely over. There are very few jobs you will be able to earn a living at from the middle of nowhere. You will have to give up your old job and anything connected to it and rediscover yourself by finding ways to support yourself from your new surroundings. Just because you're off-grid doesn't mean you may not need some income. Number 6, learn to trade. You're moving towards a situation where cash may not be readily available anymore. Learn to barter your extra resources or skills for the things that you need to maintain your new home and lifestyle. What have you got that your neighbors might be able to use? And what do they have that could be of use to you? Number 7, minimize now, not later. Most people own a lot of stuff, and where you are going, you may not be able to accommodate all of it. You're going to have to decide before you move what you can and cannot keep. A lot of your property will likely have to go, but at the very least, you can sell it to offset the costs of your new endeavor. Number 8, build an independent home. Your new home needs to be independent of anything connected to the state and utilities. You need to be able to generate your own electricity, collect your own water, manage your own waste, supply your own heat, and anything else you would normally rely on a service for. It may even be necessary for you to build a property from scratch. just to accommodate a system independent of outside utility services. You need to know what kind of systems you are going to put in place in advance. Will you use solar or wind power for electricity? Will you use rainwater catchment, or can you dig a well for water? Or maybe both? And how much will all this cost you in the end? Figure these things out now before you end up in a money pit. Number 9. Go old school. Needless to say that you will be personally responsible for not only the upkeep of your new home, but you may have had to have built it yourself. It would also be a huge benefit if you could grow your own food and even maintain some livestock, even if it's only as simple as chickens. If you don't know how to do these things, you need to learn before you move, because alone in the woods is no place to figure things out on the fly. Start studying and practicing the skills that you believe that you will need now, rather than later, when it may be too late. And number 10, be frugal. When you are off-grid, you can't afford to waste anything. People as a whole are terribly wasteful and neglectful and rarely appreciate anything. We are a throwaway society and tend not to care. When you're living the off-grid lifestyle, you cannot afford to have that attitude. You can't afford to throw a meal in the trash or let the sink run while you brush your teeth. You will soon find that just about everything has a secondary use, and it will serve you well to get into that mindset now rather than find out the hard way later. And you just knew I had one more for you, didn't you? Call it number 11 if you will. Know that you don't have to go it alone. No matter how spread out your neighbors may be from your new home, you may still have some neighbors. Find out who they are and try to get along. Just because you're in the middle of nowhere doesn't mean you won't have to network. So I hope you found this list helpful. If you have anything you would like to add to the list, feel free to post it in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up, easiest way to show your appreciation. Share the video if you can and check out some of the other content for more interesting topics. If you would like to tip the channel, there are links for that down below. Doesn't happen often, but every little bit does help, and I sure do appreciate it. That being said, as always, stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.